Hello YouTube, welcome to a Star Citizen video. I've disconnected my multifunction displays, got my CH gear hooked up and recognized by the game. I won't say necessarily 100% working yet because I'm working or using currently a slightly tweaked version 0.8 profile, but it's going to be several hours of tweaking and for instance, like I don't have strafing controls mapped currently to any of my buttons on either stick. So there are some things to do as far as the control schemes go. But this is version 0.9. And I can understand now why a lot of people are upset. That's because you had version 0.8, which was a very arcadey. I called it Space Thunder in various places. It was, in my opinion, too casual, too easy, too arcadey. Not the game that I pledged to support 2 years ago. Not what I was expecting. This is what I was expecting, to be honest with you. And I'm kind of tickled pink. I don't really have any problems with the flight model itself. The issues that I have are more reflective in the heads-up display and some changes I think that need to be made there, and I hope will be included in further iterations. Something else to keep in note, my cold has turned from a head cold into a chest cold, so if I cough or clear my throat, I apologize in advance. I'm trying not to, but it may well happen. So with that being said, we're getting started here. And now we kind of get this immersion breaking. Oh, look, here they jump in and cinematic camera. I hate that. I thought I had turned it off in the options, but apparently not. So here we're going. And this is my second time. I had spent about 20 minutes prior to this making some minor adjustments in the M50 in free flight mode to, in particular, I switched back. Prior to this, I had yaw on the x-axis of my stick, roll on the pedals. I've now reversed those back to the default flight sim where it's pitch and roll on the stick and yaw on the pedals. And now I'm in the process of figuring out how to map that S-curve on the pedals for the best result. Something else is I do not have my strafing thrusters mapped to the second analog mini stick, even though right now I can guarantee you that my thumb was trying to line up those final details of the shot with the strafing thrusters as I would in Elite Dangerous, but alas, they're not configured yet. So these are issues that I have with my control scheme that I will get resolved in the coming days, and that will help tremendously. And then a lot of this is, literally figuring out what everything is. You can see me overcorrect and oversteer because what's going on is I have it, you move quite a bit for just a little bit of movement, and then all of a sudden you get a lot of movement. That's what an S-curve does. And I've just got to tweak that. I may also need to turn down the sensitivity. I got a couple good hits on. But my biggest problem is right now is actually with the visual feedback or lack thereof in the heads-up display. The heads-up display is not what I would call a functional state. My number one problem right now is the fact that your fixed guns, your heretical for the fixed guns, it's this tiny little plus sign there in the middle of the screen, plus that circle with the caret symbol. That's where your shots are actually going to be going after you fire them after a certain distance. I don't know what that distance really is. And I really need something that's bigger. I need something that's the same size visually as that green circle where I'm looking with track IR and where my gimbaled weapon is tracking. The second thing I need is some sort of visual feedback to tell me where is that cone of where I can aim my gimbaled weapon. Right now, I really don't have any good feel for where that is. A green dotted circle or something like that to tell me where that cone is would be ideal. And that can change. I'm sure that the Hornet has a much bigger area than the 300i here. But those are visual cues that I find lacking, and I think that's what makes targeting very, very difficult right now. Because especially on this map, since there's shades of blue, that blue plus sign is very easy to lose in the background, where there's kind of the blue tint of the asteroids, the planet below. So this kind of stems from a visual feedback issue that I have, not so much with the control schemes, but with the heads-up display and some visual cue or lack thereof in the game. But overall, I really do like this new flight model. This is starting to play like the game I was hoping for. And to me, that tickles me pink. And I'm sure other people are like, oh my god, this is so hard and too hard. I don't think it is. I think what's making it extraordinarily difficult, again, still lacking that key binding screen and being easily able to adjust these settings in game as opposed to with an XML file or with software provided with your peripherals. Something else that I did notice is I think it's very, very difficult to aim with Track IR in its current iteration. Now, to be fair, like my control schemes, I've not yet really gone in and messed with the Track IR profile. I probably need to widen that dead zone around the center or make it more one-to-one there in the center and then as I look away. The other thing is I think it would be a lot better if with Track IR, if I had a 3-monitor setup as opposed to just the single monitor that I have now. But that's going to be some ways away as terms of GPU processing power to drive 3 screens at, 5760 by 1080 would probably be the resolution I'd be looking at. So we're talking, dual 880s or maybe even 980s in a couple of years before we're going to be talking about that, before I'm going to be able to get there. So we're talking a couple of years in, as far as PC hardware, I think, before being able to draw this game at that level. However, I am going to get the Track Clip Pro, which is the 3 LED lights for my headset. Currently, I'm just using the ball cap mounted track clip that comes with the default standard unit for $150. I have a Track IR 5. I would also be happy to give off targeting to a targeting computer for the gimbaled weapon. Then I could just concentrate on flying and getting my Amansky 6s lined up to make those kill shots. If I didn't have to worry about trying to maneuver to get both guns, or both sets of guns, or both fire groups on target. But I think if they made some adjustments there to the visual feedback on how things target, people would find things a lot easier. As I said, I just lose that small little plus sign just too easily amongst everything else on the screen, on the HUD. It's a visual cue. I just don't have those good visual cues that I would be used to in most space combat games, whether it's Elite, Free Space, Diaspora, any of those games. Even if the fixed weapons were green like the circle, but it was a green cross or a green, I don't want to say diamond because they do use diamond, but some other shape to indicate that's where my other weapons are going. That would be fine. It's just that blue plus sign is just not enough to keep up with the visual tracking. So those are kind of my honest thoughts on the game and where it is, where it's hopefully going. Again, I didn't spend a lot of time getting things set up yet, but I thought I would go ahead and put this video out there and share it with the rest of the community. Like what I have to say, be sure to like, subscribe, share this video with friends, and let me know in the comments how right or wrong I am. Again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.